How's it going again, guys? It's Cranky Yankee here. Just wanted to do a little quick video on lunch break, but a lot of people are talking about this right now, and I want to weigh in, put in my 2 cents and the research that I've done and what I've done as the Auston Mathews situation currently. For those of you who aren't aware, he has a court date set in Scottsdale, Arizona, where he lives, for an incident that happened in May. Apparently he was intoxicated with some of his friends, and there was a security guard. No, I'm making a YouTube video.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It's fine.
Can
Katie,
I be in it?
if you want, you can say hi.
Okay.
This is Amanda,
Hi.
my coworker.
I'm gonna smoke with you.
Okay. But basically, he was drunk, and he was at this condo complex, so there was a security guard, a female security guard in her car doing paperwork, and him and his buddies, who are all also drunk, decided that it would be really funny to try to get in her car. When you're drunk, you do stupid stuff. Let's just be real. And let's also remember that this gentleman is 22 years old. He's a child. He's a young guy. And I can attest to you that when I was 22, there was a lot of really dumb shit that I did when I was 22 and when I was drunk, and even sometimes when I wasn't, because I'm not always the most intelligent person. But if anybody's lucky in this situation, it's him. Because if you do some research, and I did this as well, Shannon did it as well, the hockey guy, but I also did some research on this as well, and me and him seem to have the same kind of mindset. And I was looking up, what exactly do security guards in the state of Arizona have to go through? What do they have to train in? What do they have to know to have their job? And second level of that training is firearms training. They're trained in self-defense, they're trained in firearms training, they're trained how to use tasers and pepper spray and all kinds of things. Auston Mathews is lucky she didn't shoot him. She could have tased him, she could have used pepper spray, she could have literally tackled him to the ground and subdued him and called the police and arrested him. But what I do want to say is, as far as I can tell, either this has not been reported or it didn't happen, but he did drop his pants, but he did not drop his underwear. He did not face her. His back was to her. He basically mooned her. He just pulled his pants down and showed his little, little butt cheeks, his little tushy with his boxer shorts, and wiggled it at her and thought that'd be really funny. And this was after he'd walked away and blah, blah, blah. So for those of you who were all saying that, he whipped his dick out or whatever and everything, I'm not saying that didn't happen, but there's nothing reported that states that that was a thing. The only thing that I did find was that there was security camera footage of a man, it didn't say specifically who, just said a man, entered that complex without his pants on. It didn't say specifically that it was Auston Mathews, and it was included right at the bottom of the Auston Mathews article. But from CBC, a little blurb at the very, very end that said that there was security footage of a man that was walking around and entered the complex without his pants on. It didn't state that it was Auston Mathews, and I found it very weird that was added at the end, because there was no statement about who that individual on the security footage was. Maybe they cannot tell, but it just seemed weird that it was included. It was almost like they were trying to imply that that was Auston Mathews, but there's no proof and no statement that says that it was him. It just says that there was an individual, a man, a male person. That's all it said. So with the information that I have and the information that we have at us right now, the best that we can judge is that Auston got drunk, decided that he wanted to fuck around with a security guard, which was a really stupid idea. We can all agree on that. And then as she got out of the car, confronted them and talked to them, and as they were walking away, and it seems like she probably just said, "Oh, you guys are drunk, just go back to your place, and just, go sleep it off," which is my guess is what she's probably trying to do. She's probably trying to diffuse the situation in a non-violent and very passive manner, which is what she should have done in that situation, and she sounds to me like she was probably trained very well in handling confrontation. And as they were walking away, he just went, "Bloop, here, look at my butt." We're all drunk. I'm not trying to defend him because I think he's stupid for doing it. He shouldn't have done that, period.
He belongs in college.
Yeah, but and the fact of the matter is, the man makes $8 million a year, but that doesn't mean nothing. You can't buy maturity.
No,
you can't buy common sense. And the fact that he has so much money, it actually makes this even worse, because anything we know about people is that money is the root of all evil, and the more money you have, the more you feel you could do stupid stuff like this, because I'll get a fine or whatever, I got millions of dollars, I'll just write that off and whatever, and you don't learn anything. He's issued a statement, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people say, oh, well, he shouldn't have the seat now. He shouldn't be captain. Well, here's the thing. I don't think he was going to be captain anyways. We're pretty sure that John Tavares is going to have that. He's the hometown boy. He's the veteran, the older gentleman. He's kind of the leader in that locker room, and I wouldn't be surprised if Auston wasn't going to get it in the first place. He's certainly not going to get it now. And, you know, talk about, you know, that he's not the first player to do stupid stuff in the league, okay? Last year we had Austin Watson got in trouble because him and his girlfriend got drunk and he smacked the shit out of her. Slava Voinov, who's trying to make a comeback in the end of the NHL this year, who I don't think they should ever allow him back in the NHL, 10 years ago when he got kicked out of the league, put his wife's head through a television. Okay, and we're going to talk about Auston Mathews waving his tushy at a security guard. I'm not trying to downplay it. I'm just saying that this happens all the time. It's not surprising. It's not anything new. And as a matter of fact, here's something out we also remember that's alcohol related that probably a lot of you forgot about. Probably about 5 or 6 years ago, Ryan O'Reilly, who then was playing for the Colorado Avalanche, was drunk and drove his truck through a Tim Hortons. Drove it into the front of, like, through the door, smashed it into the front lobby of the fucking place. He plays for Buffalo. I mean, I think he's Buffalo, or maybe he's in St. Louis. I don't know. They both have the same colors. But anyways, we all forget about that. This is what comes with the territory when we have young guys in professional sports who make a lot of money. They do stupid stuff. It's been happening in the NHL for years. It happens in NHL, in the NFL, basketball, baseball. This stuff all happens in all leagues, all sports. And it's not an excuse, but it's something that we just need to
hear about the average people.
Well, that's another thing I was thinking of. Like, if I had done something like this, nobody would know about it because I'm not a celebrity. I'm not a rich person. Bye, darling.
Bye.
But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on the deal. I just wanted to make a video about this and give my 2 cents. I'm not defending Auston Mathews. I think that he should have a court date. I think that they should, you know, have him do community service or some kind of, maybe, I mean, I don't think they'll put him in jail. I doubt that. But I mean, they should have him be on probation or have him have to go through some kind of maybe an alcohol rehab. Maybe, I mean, I doubt they'll do that as well. I mean, the NHL is probably not even going to suspend him for it because, like I said, there's been guys who have been suspended for off-ice interactions that they've had, and they've done much more serious stuff than what Auston Mathews has done. But it's just, everyone's talking about how, oh, well, what they don't tell you. It's like, well, they're not telling you because either A, they're trying to keep it under wraps, which wouldn't surprise me if that's the case. I'm sure that there's a lot of things that get swept under the rug that we don't know about. But at the same time, I've read several different articles from several different newspapers and reporting bodies, and none of them have stated anything about him showing his genitals to her. Everything is stated that when he pulled his pants down, he still had his underwear on. So it's basically mooning. Now, when I was a kid, you do shit like that, and, you know, it's whatever, ha, you're dumbass, whatever, go on with your life. We didn't get in trouble for that. And of course, with the Me Too movement, you know, you can argue that that could be considered sexual harassment. I personally think that's borderline sexual harassment. If he had actually whipped his penis out, then absolutely that's sexual harassment. Because his underwear was not down and because it was his buttocks, I think that that's probably a little bit milder. But I definitely think that he should be held responsible. I'm a big believer, I'm a libertarian, and in this country I believe that we need two things: maximum freedom, maximum personal responsibility. And that's what Auston Mathews needs to have, is personal responsibility. It's one thing that many people in this world lack. Celebrities, rich people, poor people, it doesn't matter. So many people these days lack personal responsibility for their actions. And I hope that Auston learns from his mistake. I hope he thinks better when he decides whether or not he wants to drink, and if he does, I hope that he has a friend with him. Generally, here's another tip from you guys: if you're gonna drink, always have a DD. Number one, always have a DD. Number two, always have a sober friend with you. Seriously, have a sober friend, and I'm gonna explain this to you. Having a sober friend can save your life. Having a sober friend can keep you out of jail. Having a sober friend can keep you from making mistakes that you would otherwise regret. Have that friend there to make sure that you're not messing around with some girl that you shouldn't be, or some guy that you shouldn't be if you're in a relationship, or even if not, even if you're just like, yo, you should just not be messing around with this guy, don't be flirting with him, whatever, keep you from getting into a car with somebody who's been drinking or trying to drive yourself after you've been drinking. You know, keep you from getting into fights or altercations at the bar or around with other people who are intoxicated. You know, if he'd had a friend with him, that'd be like, hey guys, no, let's go this way. Let's not do this. Come on, she's just doing her job. Just leave her alone. You're like, hey, let's go play some chell back at the hotel room, or let's go back to the house and play some chell, or, you know, do something there. Maybe we'll go find some girls, bring them out, whatever. Do something. But I feel like a sober friend there could have diffused the situation quicker and stopped it from happening before it even did. But that's just my opinion. You know, it's my opinion. You can agree with me, you can disagree with me. Let me know in the comment section below. If you want to throw some hate at me, throw some hate at me. I don't care. If you think I'm stupid and you're like, no, that's sexual harassment, he should be a sex offender, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't personally think that that's the case. I don't think that what he did would warrant that, in my personal opinion. But definitely, he needs to have some personal responsibility. He needs to have some personal responsibility for his actions, and he's made a statement. But I definitely think that he should have more than just have to make a statement. I mean, I think community service. You know, he's got a court date, but it sounds like it's probably going to be some kind of a misdemeanor. But my point is that he's 22. He's a young guy. As men, our brains are not developed enough at that point. You know, my brain is just now barely fully developed, and I'm just in my 30s. You know, when you say, hey, I'm 30 years old, I'm almost a full-grown man, that's not really a joke. That's kind of true, because mentally men mature much later than women do. You know, generally a woman is pretty much has at her, you know, mental maturity out of 18 to 20, 18, 20, 22, somewhere around there is usually when women kind of get their adult maturity in their brain, and guys are usually a little later, you know, in their 30s generally. Some guys, actually some women too, I should say people, because I've met both walks of life, both men and women that fall into this category. You know, some people don't ever grow up, and maybe he's one of those people. But it's just a shitty situation for him. It's a shitty situation for her. I feel for her. I can't imagine what it would be like if somebody came up to me and did that to me. I mean, I've had stuff like that happen to me from women. I mean, I was at a bar when I was about 22. It was 21. I was 21. Me and my friend, we had just turned 21 a couple months prior, and it was our first time going out because his birthday was a little after mine, and we wanted to go out for our first drink together. So I waited a month, and his birthday was a month after mine, and we went out, and we were at this bar, and we were going there because they had some live music. They had a band playing some classic rock, and we're like, sure, let's go watch a local band, and we're chilling, and we're sitting at a table, drinking beers, me and him, you know, two young 21-year-old dudes. And this lady comes up. I'm talking lady. She's like in her, must have been minimum 50. I mean, this woman was old enough to be my mother. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Comes up to me, and she's got these tight pants and this little short little top on, and she's clearly 3 sheets to the wind gone. Like, I think this woman was already blackout drunk at the point when she came up to us. She comes up to me and Ryan, my buddy. And she comes up and she gets real close to me, and she puts her vest right in my chest, and she's like, hey, when are you guys going on? And she's literally rubbing her tits on me, like rubbing her body all over me. And I'm just sitting here like, whoa, lady. And we're like, ma'am, we aren't in the band. We're just here to have a drink. We're just here to anything. And she's like, oh. And then she literally takes her hand and grabs my crotch, whole handful of my man meat in her hand. She goes, well, if you need anything, honey, you know where to find me. And then walks away. And I'm just like, did this fucking woman just literally just accost me at a bar? This woman who's 30 years older than me minimum, just grabbed my junk and wanted to like sleep with me? Now, if a woman does that, that's sexual harassment, absolutely. To me, that's just as bad as some guy going up to a girl and smacking her on the ass or grabbing her tits. It's the same damn thing. And I didn't know what to do. And especially because as a man, we aren't taught to report stuff like that. We're just taught like, oh, well, like, dude, man, you could have had that. Why wouldn't you go after that? I'm like, dude, because I'm not interested in a woman that age, and because that's really inappropriate, and I didn't come here to get my junk grabbed by a woman. I came here to have a drink and listen to some music. Because that's what an adult does. It's a normal thing. And it just, shit like this happens all the time. And, you know, and I'm getting off topic here, and I apologize, but I just wanted to say that, you know, I have experienced things that this woman may have. You know, maybe it's not to the extent that she did, or maybe she didn't experience what the extent to what I experienced at that particular situation. But I've been there. I've been in situations where I've had women do things very similar to me, and I was very uncomfortable, and I didn't know what to do. And I applaud this woman for handling the situation as well as she did. Because from what I think Auston Mathews could have come up much worse than he did. I mean, this woman could have thrown him the riot act. Like, yeah, she's a security guard, but the point of the matter is most security guards these days, and especially in the state of Arizona, carry guns. I mean, she could have pulled a gun on him. I mean, bless her heart not doing it. I know she probably figured it wasn't necessary. A bunch of drunk dumbasses. But it could have been much, much worse for him. It really could have. And I think that he's probably very thankful right now that it didn't escalate to a level where it was worse than what it is. But, you know, don't crucify him for what he's done, but certainly don't forgive him. Certainly don't let him forget his actions. I think that he needs to be reminded of the stuff that he's done, and, you know, we all need to be, and we need to have personal responsibility. But that's it for me, guys. Kind of went off on a bit of a tangent. This is way longer video than I expected it to be, than I ever wanted it to be, but that's my 2 cents on the whole Auston Mathews situation. And let's keep in mind, this happened in May. It is now almost October. It's been months, and we're just hearing about it now. So I'm sure that there's been a whole investigation and already concluded, and that's why what we're reporting. So my guess is what's being reported is probably what happened. Because if there was something much worse than what was reported happened, I'm pretty sure that by now we would have found out and it would have been reported. So I don't think that he pulled his pants down and wiggled his dick at her. I think he just did a Mr. Burns and was like, ooh, I'm gonna moon you because, you know, when you're in 5th grade, you think it's funny to show your butt to people because it's funny. I mean, there's a whole anime called Shin Chan where he has an entire thing called the ass dance, where he pulls his pants down and wiggles his butt and dances and does this little butt dance where he wiggles his butt, and it's kind of funny because it's stupid and silly and kind of like slapstick toilet humor, but it's funny, and that's why people think pulling their pants down and showing their butt to people is a funny thing. And when you're drunk, everything's funny. That's it for me, guys. I'm the Cranky Yankee. Leave your comments in the section below. Let me know your opinion on this. What do you think? Do you think that what he's gotten is sufficient? Do you think that there should be that he should be suspended? There should be some legal action, more legal action. There should be some action taken from the league. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let's try to keep this civil as we can, but a civil, unbiased, adult conversation about this, because it's a thing that needs to be talked about. Actions like this are things that we need to acknowledge and need to be aware of, and be aware of that this happens to everybody of every walk of life, both male and female. But that's it for me, guys. Love y'all. Have a great day.